Employers ask me every single day, why do so many good employees leave when you wish they would stay? Right, now, there's tremendous consistency in the data over decades, and that data has only been heightened in the last 2 years. There are 4 top causes of early voluntary departures among newly hired employees. The number 1 cause of early voluntary departures is buyer's remorse. This happens when the employer oversells the job to potential candidates, and the newly hired employee is disappointed by the real conditions of the job compared with the representations or promises that were made during the hiring process. The number 2 cause of early voluntary departures is inadequate onboarding and up-to-speed training. This happens when the first days and weeks of a new hire's employment are not rigorously scheduled with interactions, experiences, and assignments designed to make a connection between the individual and the organization. That means clearly presenting and continuously reinforcing the mission, values, history, culture, people, and the work. It's important to transfer ownership of at least one concrete task, responsibility, or project to the new hire as fast as possible. The number 3 reason is when a new employee is handed off to a disengaged manager, somebody who doesn't make expectations clear, doesn't provide feedback about performance, doesn't do resource planning, troubleshooting, problem solving, doesn't give credit and reward for high performance. And the number 4 cause is limited flexibility. Anything from assignment choice to schedule to location or workspace, other preferred work conditions, when there's no flexibility, that's the 4th cause of early voluntary departures. A lot of hiring was postponed during the pandemic. Where hiring was occurring, some of the underlying conditions contributing to the causes of early voluntary departures were exacerbated, resulting in unnecessary hiring failures. But at the same time, some new hires and experienced hires suffering these causes may have hesitated to leave their jobs during the pandemic, even if they had concluded that the job was no longer for them. Right? When employees, whether new hires or longer term, decide to quit, but when the time is right, they don't quit right away, but I'll quit when the time is right. I call that leaving in your head or leaving without leaving. The phenomenon sometimes is the explanation for diminished performance or bad attitude from somebody who previously seemed like a good employee. Leaving without leaving is also a big component of pent-up departure demand, something that we're starting to see, which is translating into these higher quit rates. There are 5 primary causes of pent-up departure demand in today's workforce. And those also overlap and are consistent with data over the last 2 decades regarding top causes of middle stage voluntary departures, those within 2 to 5 years of employment. The number 1 cause is overcommitment syndrome for an extended period of time with no end in sight. Chronic overcommitment syndrome results in siege mentality. When all incoming requests, assignments, and opportunities start to feel like an assault, and this inevitably leads to burnout. Number 2 is a disengaged or unsupportive manager. When someone feels like their manager doesn't engage in a regular ongoing conversation with them about their work, they start to feel their manager doesn't provide the guidance and direction they need to set them up for doing their best work. Or they come to resent the manager for failing to recognize all the great work they're doing. Employees might also perceive a manager's lack of engagement as a sign of how valuable the individual is considered to the organization. Number 3 is limited flexibility. This may be flexibility in assignment choice, flexibility in schedule, flexibility in location or workspace, any preferred work condition. And remember, now that employees have seen it's possible to achieve a high degree of work from home conditions and flexibility, they're going to be a lot more skeptical of employers and managers who refuse to offer flexibility. The 4th reason is lack of a career path. Good employees will leave if they don't see clear steps to position growth or advancement. Number 5 is relationship conflict. This might be cliques and ringleaders that are exclusionary, or maybe growing friction resulting from a lack of clear communication when it comes to collaborative work. Now again, the COVID-19 pandemic with its attendant dangers, fears, lockdowns, supply chain disruptions, market volatility, and other pressures have exacerbated many of the conditions underlying these causes of mid-stage departures. When employees did leave their jobs during the pandemic, some did, but a lot stayed in place waiting for the right time to leave. And hiring is now soaring to record levels, and quit rates are also soaring because pent-up departure demand is being released.